Hi traders, welcome to the weekly video. Today's focus is on the pound dollar resistance around 125, and we'll take a look at some key bounces that I expect on the euro dollar and dollar yen. First of all though, be aware that this video is shown to a global audience. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact the appropriate entity to find out if it is suitable for you. Also, please be aware that trading foreign exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. Let's kick off this webinar video, I should say, with the euro dollar daily chart. And I think that basically price has reached a key support trend line, and I am expecting a bullish bounce at this level. Price is also at a pivot point. I think this is a pretty strong confluence. I'm expecting a rally from this level. If, of course, today or tomorrow a daily candle appears which is very bearish, that closes with the closed in the low, basically breaking the support trend line, then in that case there could be a bearish breakout. Until that happens, I'm expecting a bounce, and I'm expecting price to rally up to the R1 or R2, probably the R2 to be honest, because if I put a fib from here to here, you can see that price basically could stop at the 38, probably 50 fib, if not even the 61.8. You see, when price is trying to escape the long-term moving average, in this case the 144, price has always a tendency to pull back to that moving average before breaking into a new trend or the previous trend. So you can see there's been a large consolidation here. You can see 3 waves up here. So it's not surprising that it's taking quite some effort for the euro dollar to pull away from the average and restart a potential downtrend. If price were to break above this 109.05 top here, you can see the 109 level there, then I think that it is not as likely that there will be a new downtrend continuation. So I moved the screen so you can see those levels a bit better now. You can see here 109.05. So anywhere around this zone, the 50 up to the 78.6 fib level, I think could be very interesting for a bearish turn. But until that happens, I think that this could actually be an interesting level for a bearish, a bullish upside. So let's take a look at that. For our chart, you can see the bullish candle here. That's the master candle. And I think that at this moment, price is going to bounce and rally. So I'm expecting, first of all, price to break above this 106.25-ish area. I think if there's a good 4-hour candle or 1-hour candle, perhaps even, that breaks above that level, I think that that is a signal that there is a good chance that price could make that rally. Maybe not today, but tomorrow that could happen. Today it could be a bit choppy day. Today is Monday. It is Easter Monday, which means that the markets could be a bit slower to move. You know, the London financial market is closed, or I should say the day off in UK, I should say. So the forex market, of course, is open. But you can see that maybe tomorrow, that as price makes a consolidation zone, the breakout to the upside could be very interesting. But the breakout to the downside perhaps too. It could be an early signal that perhaps we get a daily candle that breaks through that support trend line. So I'll be watching for a box like this and seeing to which direction it will break out. I'll continue with the pound dollar and dollar yen in just a second. First of all, we have these webinars lined up. Just wanted to share that with you. We have Net's recaps, of course. Also, my trading patterns, support momentum, support of resistance and momentum coming up on Tuesdays. And on Thursday next week, I'm taking a look at entry tactics in the market structure. So that's going to be very interesting. I hope you'll join that one. And of course, don't forget Wednesday's live trading session with Nenet. The dollar yen here pulling away from the moving averages, in fact, to a good sturdy downtrend at this moment. And price is not bouncing at basically the 110, 109 zone. I was expecting price to bounce, but it broke. A bearish break instead, and you can see that on the daily chart, it's racing down to the S1, which I think is a bouncing spot in itself as well. 107.050, of course, a round level. It is also a Fibonacci sequence level. It is the 5th, which is also a bouncing spot. And if we add a fib like this, all right, you see the 61.8 fib there. Let me adjust this fib just a tad. So 61.8 fib as well. So that, those are strong arguments, strong confidence levels for a potential bounce at that zone. So until that moment, price could still make some kind of smaller bear flag here, hook back, for instance, to the pivot point, maybe even up to the 109.50 area, 109.25 area. This is the 4th sequence level. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So a hook back to the 4th and a bounce at the pivot point, weekly pivot point, could basically start that move down to the weekly S1 and the 5th Fibonacci sequence level. So that's a move, a downside, a short that I'll be looking at throughout the week. Or, of course, the long area here around 107.50 for a potential bullish bounce. Last but not least, the pound USD, you can see the support and resistance level here, support green, resistance orange, prices trying to break through that resistance level. And I think it will eventually. You can see that there was a lot of momentum here. This looks like a weak ABC correction. So I think that that should allow for price to make that break and challenge 127. But in the meantime, looking at this particular part, I think that that could be actually setting up for one more leg down, perhaps to the weekly pivot point at 125. 125 resistance has been broken, but now it could maybe turn into 125 support. So I'm looking for a potential turnaround in this zone and a potential move down to the pivot point. Especially interesting for me is the potential bounce as it makes the ABC zigzag here, like this. So for price to get down to the minus 272 target, minus 61.8 target, I think could be interesting. Here you got confluence between the weekly and the first target. Then you have confluence between the second fib target and the moving average. But, you know, I wouldn't be have anything against keeping an eye on a bounce here to the downside either. So I will keep an eye on how price reacts here. Will it bounce down to the downside, or will it break to the upside? All right, so I'll keep an eye on 4-hour candles to basically give me information about that decision. I will not follow price. Let's see what price does, and I will react as accordingly. As long as price shows me a direction, I will try to follow that direction. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on the pound USD. What kind of price action, what kind of candlestick patterns do I see in this zone? Is it breaking or bouncing? And if it bounces, then I want to see a bounce in here. And then the next time it should break, because then we've completed an ABC zigzag, and then a bullish break should occur on the pound USD. Looking at the hourly chart, you can see basically that, let me adjust this fib a little bit like this. So you can see that price is making kind of a correction. So one more thing to keep an eye on would be a trend line like this, for instance. If that trend line breaks to the downside, that could be an ABC zigzag continuation. Or if it even breaks this resistance line, right? Breaks above it, then perhaps price could be showing a breakout above this zone here. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on for the moment on the pound USD. All right, thanks for joining. That's my trading plan for these three currency pairs. But tomorrow on Tuesday, I'm back looking at the market in more detail and more currency pairs. Check it out on admiralmarkets.com. Go to education and webinars. Of course, you'll find analytics there too, plus the MetaTrader 4 Supreme Edition and lots of other goodies. Hope that you check it out and wish you all great trading. Cheers.